Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Ohio Hawkeye Sports podcast today. I should change the name of it because it's on under my name. But anyway, hmm, got a little growth going on. That's because I haven't worked since last Friday, and so I let the growth grow all this weekend. Excuse the shirt. It's got a little stain on it, but I'm going to use it for workout when I'm done with this. I'm headed to the gym. I'm going to go work out today. Um, welcome to March 1st. How about that for you people in the Midwest and upper Midwest and other places? That means spring is around the corner for you guys. Cold weather and snow's about to end, or getting close to it anyway. It's going to start warming up. For us people like where I'm at in Southern California, it's already warm. Okay, so let's talk about latest Hawkeye news football wise. Okay, Chad Lysico is reporting that ESPN is reporting that Abdul Hodge has been hired to coach tight ends at the University of Iowa. And our quarterback coach will be Brian Ferentz, and he's going to add that to his duties as offensive coordinator. What do you guys think about that? Um, I was kind of hoping we get a quarterback coach that would get out on the field and teach the mechanics a little bit, that kind of stuff. So basically, I think all we're going to get out of this with Brian coaching the QBs is probably now a whole lot different than what Ken O'Keefe was doing. I think they're just going to help them with the playbook, help them with the plays, talk about when to throw, when to pass, when to run, that kind of stuff. Um, so I don't see this as a good thing. I was really hoping for a really good quarterback coach that could get out there and really train these guys on their mechanics and try to improve them overall. But I do know that we've got two guys who've got our two current top two quarterbacks do have trainers anyway that work with in the off season, so that helps. It'd just be nice if we could work it in within the flow of the Iowa Hawkeye offense. And we've got one quarterback coming in the fall, or he'll probably be here this summer. That also works out with a trainer. So that's good. We appreciate that. But I just wanted to share that news with you guys that what's being reported. That's the first thing that popped up this morning. And since I'm 2 hours behind you folks in the state of Iowa, you probably already knew that. Okay, one of the things I wanted to share. Let's go on to the wrestling before we do basketball. Okay, um, the seedings are out for the Big Ten Wrestling Championships. Um, this is going to be tough for Iowa to repeat as Big Ten champions. Especially with the seedings the way they look. But that doesn't mean that they can't do it. They can still do it. One of the ways that I was trying to think how they can win the Big Ten title again, um, and that's easy. In my personal opinion, anytime they have a head-to-head match with a Penn State wrestler, beat them, beat them. Then you get more points than Penn State does. Um, but however, there's going to be other schools that can threaten too. So I just think these guys. I don't know. I don't know what the experts think, and I would love to talk to Chuck Yagla if he was available and ask him. But I just think overall, some of the individual wrestlers disappointed me this year. I really do, and I'm looking back and how much does Spencer Lee not wrestling this year impact have on these guys, because he would get things going, and just get, how he was, guys. He pin really quickly or just build up a huge leads and things. It just, I think it just fired up his teammates. They saw that, and they got them going. And I think that helped those guys, up until the national championships last year. I feel like these guys, wrestled really, really well. And at the national championships, I thought some of them, and I don't think anybody will disagree that a couple of them under wrestled. Yes, underwhelmed us last year. But I just want to start with 125. Drake Ayala is gonna wrestle. He's seeded number 6, which you don't know where to put the guy yet. So I think that's one key area. I think Drake has to finish above his number 6 seeding. I think he has to outperform his number 6 seeding, and that would help Iowa get toward the Big Ten title. Austin DeSanto, number 2 seed. This kind of bothers me. Okay, Austin's a great wrestler, but I don't have any qualms with Austin. We love him to death. He's been there for a while now, and um, I think Austin's got to win. I think Austin's got to get to the finals. Obviously, as a number 2 seed, he's expected to get to the finals. But I think Austin's got to win it. Same with Jaden Ironman at 141. He's also a number 2 seed. Honestly, I thought he was number 1 at one point in the big. I don't think it doesn't matter. I don't see these things. Not my opinion. But Jaden Ironman, also number seed. Of course, he's got to live up to his seeding. Plus, I think he's got to win this finals match. Both of those guys, I think, would probably run into some pretty. It's going to be tough for these guys. I just got to see these guys do better. I just think these guys kind of underwhelmed me all year. And I don't know. And at 149, we got a number 4 seed in Max Mirren. I think Max Mirren is probably the one that's kind of disappointed me the most because I just thought he had potential 1 or 2 seed in him all year, and I don't, and granted he's had some close matches, but I just think he's a better wrestler than that, and hopefully his mindset is during the Big Tens that he's not going to sell for number 4. I think to help Iowa get to reclaim the title, he needs to get to the finals, and that would mean an upset of somebody along the way. I don't have it. It's posted on my pages, all the complete seeds of each weight. I want to thank one of the people who one of our members who posted it this morning, so it's there. So I didn't get a chance to quickly look. I just was more interested in our individual seedings and things like that. And then we got a couple of number 2 seeds in Caleb Young and Alex Marinelli. So yeah, again, I would like to see these guys. I mean, these guys are projected to get to the finals. Okay, so I was projected to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wrestlers in the finals. They need to win all of them. And I think these guys can do it. I really do. I believe if these guys can get to the finals, they're fully capable of taking down any Penn State wrestler that might be in the finals with them. Okay. Michael Kimmerer at number 4, I think he's fully capable of getting to the finals too. Honestly, I don't think there's a person on here who I don't think, the lowest seed on here we've got is Abe Assad. He's number 6. And I don't know. I think he can do better than that number 6. I believe both Drake and Abe could do better than number 6. And I think that will help Iowa go a long ways in reclaiming their Big Ten title or defending their Big Ten title. If Abe and Drake can show up and at least get to the semis and do better. I don't know about Abe, and I haven't seen enough of Drake this year to know if he can get to the finals. But I so far I believe Austin, Jaden, and Max, Caleb, and Alex, and Michael Kimmerer can all get to the finals. Jacob Warner, yeah, there's another one. He's number 4. That one kind of surprised me. I thought he'd be a higher seed than that. He's had some good matches this year, and but I think he's lost a couple of matches I didn't think he would either. So, but I think he's another one that if he can just stay focused and do what he needs to do, he can get to the finals. Okay. And then you got Tony Cusper. I can't even say it. I mean, if I hear the name, I'd say it. Cusper Caspi. But you guys know who I'm talking about at our heavyweight. He's number 2. So another one projected to get to the finals. Okay. So the key The key to this is, guys, is all these guys cannot get upset. Each one of them has to at least get the minimum seed placement that they are at. But in order to win it, some of these guys are going to have to exceed their seedings. I think all the number 2 guys have got to try to win the finals. That's 5 of them. I think they need to win the final championship match. Okay, and I think Jacob and Max and um, even Abe and Drake, if they can at least get to the finals or semis, I think that would help. I think Michael, if he gets to the semis, he has to win his semifinal match, which would put him in the finals. Okay. Same with Jacob. I believe he's got to win his semifinal match. You guys see where I'm going with this? Iowa's going to need to be near perfect on their wrestling this weekend to beat out Penn State. And also another key to keeping Penn State from getting the title is not only Iowa beating them in head to head, but maybe a couple of them get upset by somebody else. So, not leaving Iowa to do all the dirty work, because I think they were talking that maybe 4 or 5 possible head to head matches in the Penn State Iowa could decide on the Big Ten title right there. So, Assad is a number 5 seed, guys. So I didn't catch that. They switched it. He was initially listed as a number 6, but Assad has been number 5 now. Okay. So, I mean, not wanting to keep this video super long, I'm looking forward. My TV will be on every match. I don't know how many. I'm imagining some of this stuff will be on Big Ten Plus. Or ESPN Plus, that was the national championships last year. But I imagine that BTN Plus will have a lot of these early rounds, and so I'll be watching closely this weekend. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I did wrestle back in middle school. I wasn't very good, so that's why I never wrestled in high school. But yeah, I'm a wrestling fan too, guys, and I just want to see our Hawkeyes I don't want to say reclaim, because reclaim makes it like they lost it. I want them to defend their title. Okay. And then they got the national championship right behind that. So, I just want to wish the Hawkeye wrestlers great luck, good luck, and go for it. Okay. All right. Now we're going to get to some hoops. Okay. Last night, Iowa beats Northwestern. Not totally unexpected. They were fully expected to win that. But did you guys have the feeling that the game was just kind of like? I know there were some good moments in that game. There was some great moments in that game. It just wasn't, like exciting, like going down and thrashing Ohio State or thrashing Michigan State. It just lacked some of that excitement. And it just wondered if was it because it was Northwestern. You know, I mean, I know that Iowa didn't shoot all that well. I mean, at one point they were only shooting like 30 some odd percent, um, and if you go in the second half, I believe both teams scored 44 points each. I think I could be wrong on that. I'll go back and look, but they were pretty well even in the second half. So we pretty much, let Northwestern have its way, especially at the end of the game. Which those last few minutes, in garbage time, that's going to happen when you're playing your reserves and the guys who don't get much playing time. Credit Iowa for doing that. I believe I saw at least one starter in the Northwestern lineup at the very end of the game. I don't know if they switched out anybody else. I wasn't paying that close of attention because at that time that game was well in hand. You know, but some of the nice moments from last night. Uh, Connor McCaffrey. I forgot how many points he had. He shot five uh 5 3-pointers, which would give him 15 points. Plus, I think he had a couple of free throws, so I think maybe he finished with 17 points. I don't have the stats in front of me, guys. So it was nice to see Connor. He's gone off the last few games, and I've always defended Connor being on the floor. just because I like his leadership skills. I like his tenacity and competitiveness, and he's not a bad defender, and he can pass the ball. He does a great job of finding the guy who needs the ball. And, this just makes Iowa a better team when he can score. And he's feeling really confident right now. I heard his post game interview last night. He's just feeling confident, especially when he can get that first one to go. He just feels like he can chuck them all night. Okay. Um, and then, there's Jabo, you know, uh, hit a few threes. I think he hit 4 threes last night, plus a few, I think maybe 5 free throws I counted. Maybe. Okay. I'm sorry, I don't have their point line here in front of me. I should have pulled that up. Um, so let me look real quick. Okay. 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 That's just more information. Chad Lysicle's printing more information on um the Abdul Hodge being hired as the um, coach, tight end coach. Um, he does point out that this brings Iowa 5 black on-field assistant coaches: Woods, Bell, Copeland, Betts, and now Hodge. Um, so plus he says plus they got a sixth coach in the strength and conditioning coach. So anybody thinking Iowa's racist in any way, shape, or form, I don't think that's going to happen. um, but that's another story, another opinion, and I know that the other people have opinion, but that wasn't what this was about. But that story had popped up while we were talking, so I just wanted to give that to you. So back to last night's game. Okay. So, and then I think another nice moment is Austin Ash. He gets his playing time, and everybody knows he likes to chuck the three. But did anybody think that he was trying to hold back a little bit? I mean, he got one, but and then he did throw up a few others. But I thought there was a couple times where he could have just thrown up a few more, got himself a few more points. Um, and then what's the name of that guy that the team manager, you know. I didn't know that they allowed a lot of people to do that during the halftime, bring out the team manager and let him shoot from half court. But it was nice moment for that. The senior team manager getting an opportunity to shoot and he scores it on his second try, and so the whole team congratulating him. I like the closeness that I see with that team. That team just seems so close and so tight. They don't seem to have the issues that some of the other teams did. Like I believe it was Roy Marbles last year when the team was flying high, and then they just kind of like tanked it at the end of the season. And that's where the February. I think that was the year that the February swoon or February fade came into knowledge, and there were rumors that were never confirmed that this team was infighting. There was a lot of infighting going on with this team, and there was no communication on the floor at the end of the season. And that would be the Roy Devon Marble season. That it was his senior season, and so it was nice to see that this team is loving on each other, hugging on each other, and just congratulating each other, and just being there for each other's high points last night. Okay, now if you guys remember right, I predicted the men would go anywhere from 9-11 to 11-9. Okay, which could still happen. um, but I thought the ceiling would be like a sixth or seventh seed, and that could still happen because right now they could finish anywhere, according to the newscasters last night, anywhere from a third seed, which would be fantastic. I think that's where they were last year, um, or all the way down to a ninth seed, depending how everything turns out Okay. Of course, we do know that the only way Iowa is going to get into the top four for a top four seed in the big tournament, in the Big Ten tournament, and that's what we're talking right now. We're not talking NCAs. They would have to win out. Okay. Um, Previously, I predicted after the last Michigan loss, Iowa looked not so good that game. They were just out rebounded, outclassed everything in that game. And I didn't think if we couldn't beat them at home, we weren't going to beat them on the road. So I predicted that we would lose both to Michigan and Illinois the last week, which would put them right at 11-9 for the regular Big Ten season, which is what I predicted. However, I've got to eat some crow here. This team is playing since that time. This team is playing a whole lot better and a whole lot with more confidence and stuff and rebounding better, playing defense better than they were during that Michigan game. You know, I think this team's going to rise up and beat Michigan this week. I really do. Um, Michigan's going to be without their head coach, but I don't really think that hurts Michigan that much to be out without their head coach because I can guarantee you that that somehow, some way, he's influencing that game. So we're gonna. I don't think it has any. I'm just not going to go with that. I'm not going to use that as the reason why they win. I just think Iowa finds a way to beat Michigan in this game, and I'm eating crow because I'm about to take Iowa with a bigger win total than I have anticipated I would this season. So that gets them to 12-7, right? Um, Probably still in the fifth seed area because I think in order for Iowa to get to a 3 or 4 seed, which is still possible, they're going to need help. They're going to need help big time because they're going to have some teams ahead of them lose. Um, so we only played Ohio State once this year, right? So we would own the head-to-head on them if we can get Ohio State to lose another game. But we also have to beat Illinois. Illinois is playing as well as anybody in the league right now, as well as Iowa. Can Iowa upset them based on the first time they played? Yes, they can. Will they? I don't know. I don't know which team is going to show up. The the team that um the team that beat Ohio State and Michigan State easily, or the team that lost to Michigan or Penn State. That's the key. And I think they definitely have to shoot better. And both Michigan and Illinois this weekend, Thursday night for Michigan, and then I think Sunday for Illinois to close the season. They both have to shoot a whole lot better. I mean, they're going to have to shoot a whole lot better than they did in that game, this last game. And so, despite Iowa shooting poorly, they still scored 82 points or 83, whatever it was, 82, 84, something like that. So they still scored in the 80s. You know, uh, I still thought they shot poorly. I just think this team could have scored over 100 easily last night. They left so many bunnies at the rim last night, but I give credit for Northwestern because every time one of our guys went to lay it in, lay it in or try to dunk it, somebody was there to stop it. I mean, not somebody, but I mean, they double team and triple team down low. I mean, that was obvious. And Keegan still got his 26 points. I'm sorry. 20, Keegan got 26 or 28 points last night, despite the fact that they were all over him like glue on, well, glue on or whatever, glue on paper. All right. Okay. So they were pretty tight on him. So that being said, it's going to be an interesting next 2 games. I'll be following all the Big Ten games, to see where our Hawkeyes ultimately end up and see if they get some help. It would be great for them to get the double bye. Wouldn't that be fantastic for this team to win more games in this season than the team that was supposed to go to the Sweet 16, Lead 8, and Final Four last year? That with all that talent, win more games and do as well in the because that team finished third last year in the regular season and got the third place seed. Wouldn't it be fantastic to see this team that nobody believed in at the beginning of the year, including myself, thought that this team could do what they're doing this year? Um, they are doing. They're playing fantastic right now, and I have to eat crow because I wasn't a believer. I thought this team had reached its peak, and lo and behold, they're playing better, you know. But I think the move to point guard for Jabo is really helped. Nothing against Joe Toussaint, and I appreciate his hard effort. He's still playing hard. He's not sulking, and the job is his back. He'll get the job back again next year. I mean, because Jabo's definitely not coming back. He doesn't have any more eligibility, so there's no way he's coming back. And so, um, Connor might be back next year, though. Connor hasn't decided, but according to everybody last night, he does have another year of eligibility if he wants it. You know, he's not going to get drafted. Um, just depends on what Connor wants to do. You know, does he want to come back and do another year, or does he just want to say, "Hey, that's the end of a career"? I could see Connor being a great coach one day. I could see him following in his father's footsteps and coach. Maybe he becomes a part-time coach on the bench next year, player/player or something like a grad assistant. Can they do that or not? I don't know. Anyhow, that being said, yeah, this team is playing lights out right now. I think everybody agrees, and I'm starting to drink the Kool-Aid again. So and then that worries me because every time I drink the Kool-Aid, we get disappointed. We don't want that, do we? Um, hmm, my computer is plugged in, but yet it's not charging. Okay, but I shouldn't run out. All right. Okay, final thing I want to hit on. I want to hit on women's basketball. Co-Big Ten champs of the regular season. However, they get the number 2 seed. And so, as entertaining as that Michigan game was, um, to win that game, they're going to run into Michigan probably again. Um, and you might ask, how? Well, I'll tell you how. I believe the first they got a bye, and I think they play the winner of Northwestern, Minnesota. Northwestern's favored, so they would meet Northwestern again. And as you guys know, I don't know how many times they met during the season, but Northwestern beat them at least once this year. Okay. Um, so for the women, so they got to get past Northwestern, which I believe they will. They're not going to lose to Northwestern. I just don't think they will. Although Northwestern's a pretty pesky team, and they're seated right where they could do some damage. They really could. Okay. And then I believe if Michigan wins their game, which I forgot to look on the. Okay, guys, I'm totally unprepared today, but I don't know who Michigan would play. The winner of. But if they would win that game, then that puts Iowa and Michigan head to head for the right to go to the that would put them in the semifinals together, and for the right to go play, I believe Ohio State or um, who's the number 4 team, guys? Who's the number 4? Ohio State's got the 1 seed, Iowa 2 seed, Michigan 3 seed. Who got the 4th seed? I forgot. So yeah, the winner of all, but they would play the right. Ohio State would play if so assuming they win their games, and I think they will. Um, we'll be playing the 4th seed in the probably playing the 4th seed in the semifinals. So I was looking at probably facing Michigan in the semifinals and either Ohio State or why can't I think of who the darn is it Michigan State? Okay, I don't know who. Dang it! I should have paid better attention when I was looking at the brackets. I thought I had it all down. Okay, so guys, we got when do they start the? Oh, that's next weekend. It's not this weekend, right? Or is it this weekend that the Big Ten tournament, women's tournament is? So we got the wrestling Big Tens this weekend, and it sounds like we got the women's Big Ten wrestling championships this weekend. So guys, we got some things to watch, and we got some teams that can do some damage. Um, we have two teams that are basically seeded number two in the Big Ten tournament. Iowa women and Iowa wrestling. Let's get to it, and let's have a great weekend of watching. Let's watch the men hopefully take two wins this weekend, and with a little help, jump over some teams into the double bye top four teams. And the women, let's hope women come out regular tournament champions as well. Um, I don't know if you guys noticed that Iowa women jumped from 21st to number 12 in this week's poll, which is really important when it comes to seeding for the NCAA, because if they can get a top 16, like a top four seed, basically, like a number four seed somewhere, I believe the top 16 teams will host first round games. And I think Iowa can I think they proved that they can fill that stadium when they actually had a sellout. So if the women can do well in the tournament this weekend, nail down a number four seed in the tournament, at least minimum of a number four NCAA seed, they get to host a first round game, two first round games, actually. That being said, I meant to check up on Iowa State Baylor women last night. I got too caught up in the Iowa game to go back and double check, but I don't know if Iowa State won their. I know it was between Baylor and Iowa State to win the Big 12 title last night. So I just want to say, either way, Iowa State had a great season for the women. Um, I think they did better than anticipated, and they didn't let down all season like the men did. I don't know why the men came crashing hard. It just seemed like the men. I thought the men were going to be so good for Iowa State, and I know this is not an Iowa State podcast, but I just don't know. People, I'm not in Iowa anymore, and I don't get to follow Iowa State as closely as I do Iowa. So, why did Iowa State bomb so bad? What happened? Why did they chump it? You know, this was a team that was flying high before the Big 12 tournament. I mean, the Big 12 season started. They were kicking butt. They kicked Iowa's butt all over the place, as everybody knows. um, I just curious as to a team that I thought would challenge for the Big 12 title this year, why they bombed and finished near the bottom, if not at the bottom of the Big 12. Okay, I'm going to sign out, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Check us out at Iowa Hawkeye Sports. I got some great admin people who are doing a great job, and we got some great people who share a lot of content. Not only content from me I'm sharing, but we've got people sharing all kinds of great content from other places and things like that. So yeah, check us out there. We're having a blast over there. I'm enjoying the people over there, and one thing I want to say is if you run into somebody trying to sell you a T-shirt, let us know. Um, those are scams. Okay, we don't want that. We need to get rid of them and get them off of there as quick as possible. So there's been a lot. I got rid of another one yesterday, but it seems like on a daily basis we are eliminating one or two people that they keep coming back, even though we. I'm even starting to not accept people who look like they might be potential. I don't want to call them scammers because we don't really know if they're scamming, but we do have the rule on the website that we've decided that we don't want to sell anything. I have you guys solicit funds for anything and or services or anything, and that's not because we think you guys are scamming. It's just because there are people who do scam. There really are. and we don't want our people getting hurt. And it's hard for us sometimes to decide who the legitimate people are, versus the non-legitimate people. Um, I, for one, tried selling a Hawkeye jacket, starter jacket on there, and I deleted it after we decided that we weren't going to allow that. I deleted my own. I did it myself, even though I knew it was legit. I deleted my own post and put it elsewhere. And by the way, I still haven't sold it, so that's neither here nor there. Warm weather's coming, so I probably won't sell it this year. Probably save it for next year. Okay, that's it, guys. I'm gonna get out of here, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. It's Tuesday. Enjoy March. Warmer weather's on the way. Daylight savings is on the way. March Madness is officially here. Let's enjoy it, guys. March, I think, is when we find most of us in front of the TV or our streaming devices, watching as many games as men, women, and wrestling as we can. And I don't want people to think I'm ignoring softball and baseball, because I usually talk about that a little bit. The women might even be in spring soccer coming up, spring soccer league. So I'm going to cover all that. I just want to cover the three sports that are starting to wind down their seasons. We will get into baseball. We'll get into softball. And if the women are still doing spring soccer like they usually do, we'll cover that too. And not to mention that in a few weeks, the football spring season starts too. Spring practices start. So it's going to be interesting to see how things shake out. Anyway, I'm out of here. Okay. Keep saying I'm out. I'm out. Have a great day.